Okay, YouTubers, welcome to episode 69 of Shrigleytube TV. It's been a belting week. I've had my mate Bernie here fixing the big Bertha Churchill grinder. Some of you might remember it from like episode 5 or something. Anyway, thanks for everyone that commented last week. Really enjoyed reading your comments. And yep, if you're looking to go to the NEC, I will look forward to seeing you there next Friday. So we've got a lot of work done because we've got jobs that need to be out, and we've got to do a lot of preparation for the show. We've got some hoodies and some t-shirts and all sorts of stuff. So if you want anything like that or a polo neck, just come and see me and we'll get you sorted out. Okay, thanks for tuning in anyway, and I'll look forward to seeing you all on Friday at the NEC. Bye for now. Okay, just on with an engine here for Mr. Ed Linton. This is his new 1040. I did make a video of the top half going together, but unfortunately I seem to have misplaced it. It was some time ago. So I'm just putting the bottom ends together now, and thought we'd have a little chat about it before it goes together. It's on a forged piston, this one. It's a bit of a posh one. It's on some big end bolts as well. It's on the 3/8 big end bolts rather than the 5/16 one. And I put them a high capacity oil pump in. So you see the little spacer plate there. It's basically a bit thicker, so it's what they call a high volume pump. Just helps the gauge show a bit more pressure. Now Ed's from that era where they drive on the dials, so he likes to see a good oil pressure gauge. You know, these engines are absolutely fine with just 45 psi, but Ed will be happy with that when he has to warm it up to get the oil pressure down. So it'll run something like 80 psi when it's cold, and it will drop off as it gets hotter. Anyway, that's where we're up to there. I've got Russell with me today helping. He's been taking studs out of the heads. So I've got all these studs now because we're doing a bit of recycling. The stud that goes on the outside of the cam cover is actually the perfect length for the sump when you use the spacer plate. So we can see it's got the Carter style sump block strengthening kit where the load is transferred from the mains into the spacer plate via these studs, and you just wind these nuts up to the back of the plate to create a little bit of preload, pushing the mains that way. So when we tighten the sump on, it all becomes nice and clamped. So that's that. Well, hopefully we'll get a tune out of this before the end of the week. I'm going to stick it on the dyno. I'm just going to get the sump on now, and then I think me and Russell are going to push some excuse me, some liners out of some imp. I did make another video of this, but it was some time ago and I seem to have misplaced it. So this is the first video we'll have on this engine. It's basically an imp block because it's in a rally car, and some of the rules are a bit funny about them using the 930 block. It's got the rear oil seal conversion on it, as you can see there. It's on a set of bigger bolts, the 3/8 UNF bolts. Obviously everything's paint marked, so I can remember that I've tightened it. Also, it's on a forged piston, this one, so I'm keen to see how it works. Basically, he wants a torquey engine, Ed, because of what he's doing in the valley and in and out of hairpins and stuff. So I had this really rare cam, which I'll turn the engine over in a bit and show you, but it was an R19 cam. I've not seen many of them before. So I've saved it and I've put it in this, and I'm hoping it's going to work from like 3000 RPM, and then we can what we'll do is we'll run it up on my carbs and manifold, and if we're happy with it, we'll then ask Ed to take the engine out of his car, and he'll bring his carbs and manifold down, we'll bolt them on, and we'll run it again with his carbs and manifold. So there's the spacer plate that goes on the bottom here. Burge, what do you make of this lot here? He's just arrived. He rang me this morning saying, "Can I use your steam cleaner?" I said, "Yeah." What do you think?
I don't know what it is about you and all your pals, but where do they find this junk?
That's not junk.
It was on eBay.
Hang on, let's get the story. Hold that name.
There was a load of stuff on eBay, so I went down and had a look, and I ended up buying about 15 under 90 engines, couple of bikes, some bits and bobs. So I need to clean it all up, as you can see,
mate. I'm liking this here.
I believe it's off a Honda PC50 or a P50.
Mate,
I've got the frame there, the forks and that. But
do you know what we could do with that? We could put it on the front wheel of my Honda 90,
yeah,
and we could make it 2-wheel drive.
Yeah, I reckon go for it. Yeah, he's pouring out first though.
Does it? I don't mind. Yeah, we'll put like a 2 litre Pinto piston in it or something.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh my lords, another one down there. And this looks like a Honda, early Honda, the correct back end for mine.
It is, but I'm just trying to work out what it is. Apparently it's on the 90 ZZ, and the guy's fettled with it. He's put, I'm not too sure whether he's put a CM90 back end on it. I only picked that one up last night, so I'll have a nosy today. Just thought I'd bring it down.
Collecting stock every day.
Yeah.
But Burrs, you know what it is? What it is? Yeah, hold that.
I don't know what to say.
What it is the reason why I surround myself with people that hoard is because it makes
you feel better about yourself.
Makes me feel normal.
Couldn't say no to the guy. I felt sorry for him.
I felt sorry for him.
I've just bought another Passat to replace poor Percy got crashed into. You look at the back of him, Percy Passat. Got a replacement one coming this afternoon. Lou's going to take me to get it, aren't you, Lee?
Yeah, I'll take you.
Belting. Right, wonderful. I'm videoing you, mate. I'm videoing you in your finest hour. It's Monday morning. We've come to see how you're getting on. Are we still trying to unseize, are we, Burge?
Yeah, we've got a bit of a seizure on the go. I've left it for a few days with some kerosene and diesel in it.
Right.
It doesn't seem to be helping it.
Okay, well,
another spoonful.
can we get a pry bar in, perhaps, off there?
Certainly try.
I reckon once it moves, it'll be fine.
I think so too. It's so dry.
Yeah. It's probably, it depends where it stops. If it stops with the pistons at top dead centre, you've got loads of leverage.
Yeah, it's in the middle somewhere.
If it stops with all the pistons level halfway down, then you've got a right good job to unseize it. What we could also do is try and get on the ring gear. That's always the biggest.
To be honest though, I don't think there's much in the way of access to the back road.
Right. Okay, well, that's a look at it. And again. All right, stop now. Keep going. And again. Oh, it's going. I can see the bottom pulley moving.
Yeah, it's going.
Go on, mate. Keep past it. Come on, Burge, put some effort in. Hey! She's going round. Hey! It's alive, Burge. Well done. Right. You've got half an hour now to get the fuel in it, ready for the next video, yeah?
Look what you've done to my workshop. Look at my nice James Bond sign.
Flipping heck. Mate, never mind that. Just call it a grand.
Look at my midget.
Stop it from rusting. Right, get some petrol in it. I want to hear this run. I want the whole of Moss Road smoked out in kerosene. Okay, Caravan Club, you're looking nervous. Look at this sticker. Come on. Russell stood out the way.
Standing back?
Come on, you'll be all right. Oh. Nearly, Verge. Gonna go, that. Hang on, let me just give him a bit of art. Yeah, no, forget that. Go on. No fuel, that, mate. Got no fuel.
Is there even any fuel in the car?
It needs some fuel. We need a pump on it. The gravity feed's not going to work, mate. Have you had the car apart?
No. Well, I took the top off it. Everything's dead clean inside.
I think I've got a brand new one and a fuel pump.
It's not dragging the fuel through, mate. Full stop. We'll have to just let's just run it on easy start.
You can smell the fuel.
No. It's honestly, my hand would be wet with fuel if it had fuel there. Put get on the. It's not going up. Don't worry. Right.
You're confident, aren't you?
Be fine.
What do you want me to do?
Right, just crank it and give us some throttle. Part throttle, yeah. New plugs in it?
Yeah, well, no, not new plugs. They're alright, they've been cleaned up.
Second-hand 30-year-old plugs.
Original, factory original plugs.
Oh, good gracious.
What's just saying?
Right.
Oh, mate.
Call it a day.
Are you all right? Are you all right?
I'm already sitting down. It never helps. She knows someone's trying to pound me.
What have you got in the exhaust, dynamite?
Well, nothing now.
Right, well,
Call it a day at that, I think.
we'll call that a result. Crikey.
Bergerac, I'm really sorry, mate. I believe we've sold a vehicle.
We might have made a bit of a mistake.
You've underpriced something.
Well, I always underprice things. That's why
Yeah.
they sell so quickly. But I think in this case, I thought I'd stick up a little tentative ad for my Mercedes.
Yeah.
Just to see if anyone wanted it before I recommissioned it. Anyway, I put the advert on Facebook last night, and let's go back to the start. Yeah. So the messages start here,
Oh my word.
and it's going on. And the first guy that came an hour later paid a deposit. So looks like it's going.
The interest is there in the German cars, isn't it?
Yeah. There's a lot of people that seem to want them.
Well, I know you've made money on it, so
Not very
ultimately,
much though.
do you
Not
think you're
very
going to be able to pay for the Shrigley Engineering Christmas do?
I thought that was your job because
I'll give-
I'm the star. You're supposed to.
I'm the
You're
star.
supposed to provide the red carpet,
Out,
the red carpet, and the
oh
paparazzi.
my
and-
God, have you heard yourself? You have got a big head. Right. Well,
Here you go to the NEC next week. So am I.
Are
So
you at the
am I,
NEC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to put some chairs and a little coffee table, so we've got a little meeting area
Right.
for all of my customers. that
Maybe we
get-
can have a time. We could do some autograph signing.
What for you? No one will want mine. I tell you what, if you come on the stand, I'll dress you up. You can be like a model. You can have all the new Shrigley gear
What are
on.
you going to dress me in?
Yeah, I've got like polo neck and new hoodies and all that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I think you'd be a good model
So
for that.
yeah, I'm taking the Stratos. So.
Oh, are you?
So I'll be there all weekend probably.
Brilliant. Well, I'm there from the Thursday. Can't wait, actually. I really enjoy going to the NEC. No offence, Birch, but I've got to talk about my engine. This is the engine that was, we put at some point yesterday. This is the Ed Linton engine, and I was going to show you this camshaft. Never seen before. I thought it was a 6, but it's actually a 9. It's an R19 cam. So it's a little bit wilder than an R17. I've never actually dynoed one before, so I'm a little bit excited. So I'm going to put this on the dyno now. That's the cam cover that Russell very kindly rubbed down for us yesterday. So that's ready to go on. We'll get a tune out of this, Burge. Burge, I can see you purchasing a Clan Crusader soon. You keep talking about
You
it.
never know. I do keep talking about it. Yeah, maybe when the Stratos sells.
You know what,
I've got
mate?
Another one of those to build. That's the problem. I've got too many toys.
God's honest truth. It'd be so good to do you an engine. All right, I'll get this on the dyno and see what happens. Okay, YouTubers, we're up and running with the 1040 of Ed's. Although, I think it's got a problem. Sorry, Ed. But it does appear to be a bit of an oil burner. I don't know why. Doing the torque. Not very good there, it's rich. 4,500 revs, it's doing about 68. Carries on. It's 7,980 foot-pound there. Still holding it at 7.5. It's doing good power. That R19 cam is obviously a bit wilder than I first thought. Oh, and the throttle's trailing now. I'll have to go and turn this off. Just to confirm, we have a failure. Look at this. So it does the power, but no one will be able to see him because it's got a smoke screen like a James Bond car. So I think we're back to the drawing board for this. That's no good. Right, okay, YouTubers. Obviously, yesterday we ran this engine, Ed's new engine, and it had a smoking issue. So I just sort of went home last night and thought I'll have a sleep on it and come back in the morning and try and make a decision on what to do. So I'll be honest, by the time I'd come to run it on the dyno yesterday, I'd already realised that it had an issue because when I was just putting it through a few heat cycles, I could see there's a lot of smoke when I revved it. So now I've took the plugs out, I can see that number 2 spark plug has definitely got an issue. Now, this engine's got brand new guides in it, so I know it's not a guide issue. So it has to be a piston issue. Now, I've not gone too far with the advance or it's gone lean or anything like So I know it's not eating itself, but it's obviously got an issue of some type. And I thought, should I run it again today and see what happens? And then I thought, no, stop messing about. You're just going to have to pull it off a dyno and strip it down, because there's obviously something not been put together correctly when I've assembled it. So I will take it apart now and I'll report back. Okay, I've pulled the head off the 1040 and yes, we have a problem. Now these two cylinders don't appear to have much carbon on them. It hasn't done a great deal of running. These two have a lot more. I'm not sure whether what's gone on there, but all I can say is, as I turn the engine over, the honing looks great. It's not detonated or anything daft like that. This is an assembly error. You can see the oil is pooling in the bottom of the valve cutouts, and it's also, as I've just brought the engine back from top dead center now, I'll put a spanner on it. I'll try and show you. The oil is literally running back down the liner, whereas the rest of them are all dry. So I would say, whatever the problem is, it is restricted to cylinder 2. So we'll get that piston and rod out next and have a look and see if we can work out what's gone wrong. Okay, YouTubers, we've got the sump off. Everything looks really good. I'm really happy with it, apart from the fact that it's not in one piece on the dyno, making a nice noise. So I took this apart and I can see straight away the piston's fine. There's no pickup or anything like that. Everything's fine. What's happened is, and this is something that I know about because I have actually, to be perfectly honest with you, made the mistake before, is you look at the oil control ring, the expander behind it that puts the pressure on these two little thin wiper blades. Can you see the thin ones on the outside? I can see that the piston, the ring is barely protruding past the outside of the piston. So what's happened is, when I've clamped it in the valve spring compressor to drop the piston into the bore, there's like an edge, the two edges have butted up and it squashed them. So the oil control ring couldn't do its job. I'm pretty confident that's the problem, because I'm ashamed to say it, but I have been here before. Not for a long time, but everything else is too good on it. The bore's like brand new, the clearances are all spot on, the ring gaps are correct, everything's correct. So what I'll do is I'm going to order some new rings for these pistons now, and then we'll get it back together, and hopefully we'll be back on the dyno early next week without any smoke. Okay, YouTubers, something a little bit different. We're out in Percy Passat on a delivery day, so we've got quite a few engines in the back. We've got the 1200 at the very back and the 1040 of Bob's, and we've got 5 fire pumpers for delivery. So it's a good day, and hopefully we're going to bring you some footage from where we're going. So I'm going to ask permission of where I'm going. I won't say where I'm going yet, and we'll get some video footage from there. And then in the front here, I've got my mate. He's sat in the wife spot. He's got his seatbelt on. If he had a wee, yeah, he's a good lad. He'll be fine. Right, I'll report back when we get there. Okay, YouTubers, we've arrived at Maynard Engineering. Eventually got here after the M6 traffic jam, and they've got an engine in an imp here on the rolling road with the famous Mr. Cheese, who is actually a subscriber. Isn't that right, Mr. Cheese?
I am indeed, yes, yeah, provided it's not hot rod racing.
No, oh, you don't like stock cars?
No, not my thing, oh boy, not my thing.
No, I love the stock cars, but it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah, absolutely, each their own, isn't it, you know?
Wow, so this is a rolling road. Is it an eddy current one, is that?
It is, yeah. It's an old Sunram 12.
Right.
Sort of 1980s era. So
yeah, they made things properly back then.
Well, they did. It's been reliable.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've got a new newer 2000 version to go in, which I bought about 6-7 years ago.
Right.
But unless they can do the conversion on it, so I've got proper manual control on the load coming up through, it's not that good for these tiny little engines, you know.
Right. So you like this? You can.
Well, the later ones all sort of, it's automated.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it does like a power run and then gives you a
yeah. So you want to go to a point, you've got to go all the way up through just to have a look at it instead of being able to.
So you're doing what I do. You just look at the needles and decide if it's better or worse.
Yeah, look at a bit of instrumentation. Yeah, because obviously got to land on the exhaust and so on and so forth.
Excellent.
Yeah. The way you do it is the proper way of doing it. To be fair,
Is that what it is?
it is. Yeah.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah,
I like you.
Yeah, but the trouble is, a lot of people haven't got the experience or the feel for what they're doing.
Well, you've got to have that feel, haven't you? You've got to know what it wants to do. That's the thing.
To be able to do it that way, like, you know.
So, mind if I ask you a question about the engine? You say it was an 1120, is it?
Yeah, 1120cc. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, see the spacer plate, and it's got a special crankshaft in it, has it?
EM40. Well, it's a foreign crankshaft. This was done on. I can't remember if this was done with Honda bearings or Imp bearings. We've had a few done because it's like Mark's Imp autograss car.
Oh yeah, remember
when he was
one.
doing that one, we got to we were on 140.3 horsepower.
Wow.
By 11,700 RPM.
11,700 RPM.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, if you don't mind, we'll do a bit of a video of it on the rollers getting some pain.
Yeah, for sure. I just pulled the tops off, so we just need to have a look at what the fueling's doing.
Excellent.
And we'll go from there.
I look forward to that. Thank you, Mr. Cheese.
That's right.
So, Mr. Cheese, how did you get on there? Did you get the figures you're after?
No, not quite yet. No, we're about 3 to 4 kilowatts down on where I was expecting it to be from the other week.
Right.
So obviously something's gone slightly askew there. So we are now down at sort of 72 kilowatts at the back wheels.
Right.
Which if you multiply it out 1.36 for your horsepower per kilowatt, that's where you end up at. So yeah, I mean normally it makes about 122, 123 horsepower.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. That's about anything more than that. You know, you kind of run out what the cylinder is capable of, don't you? You know?
No, it's good power, that, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
it goes well in it. He's on the rally, isn't he? Is it Prescott this weekend?
Well, it's a hill climb.
Right.
It's the rally car day for it. You know, so we've got Metro 6R4s out there, 037 Lanciers, lots of lovely escorts, 2 imps.
Brilliant.
So hopefully it's yeah.
Well, he can pedal it, Mark, can't he? What's one
Well, he's a bit of a hooligan, isn't he? Yeah, he just keeps his foot in. Like, you know, he's got 2 chances: he either go around or go off. So,
that is his Jersey.
And that's kind of how you set it all up, in it, like, you know, it's just like driving it down the road. It's just like something not quite right with the back of it. Could you have a quick look? And
he's a bit soft, isn't it?
And then the shock absorber is not attached. You know? So it's like it's about half a second slower.
Well, I watched him do a hill climb at the 60th event in the race frame. It was an absolute flying machine.
Was that Donington?
No, it was at Kerborough.
Oh, Sprint. Oh, okay, yeah.
And the rear wishbone folded. It completely came off.
Yeah.
But, it was a fast machine, that, and he was absolutely dancing it round. He was flying.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, he doesn't. Yeah, you know, they're a cracking little car, aren't
Oh, they're
they? You know?
belting. I love a hill.
Yeah,
Well, as you know.
obviously, you know, we come from a time where you could actually, you know, smash it up, and if you needed to, for 50 quid, go and buy another body shell. But those days have changed, you know.
Yeah, they're a bit expensive now.
Obviously, you know, the white one that got smashed up in France.
Yeah, I did see that.
But he hit the same barrier twice on different runs. He did exactly the same accident. So but the second time, he just crashed a bit faster. So it happens the whole lot, like yeah.
It is nice to know I'm not the only person that bounced off everything this year, you know.
Well, you know, I still remember the footage of you. It I was on our right. We just like lost it on the left hander, and the back was like just caught the curb, like you know.
That was in Jersey.
Andy Jones, sing the shamble. Oh, he's in the bank. Oh, he's in the tree.
A couple of 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. You're right. Yeah, we went off earlier, but I have an excuse. My throttle cable had it had come out the clasp, and when I took my throttle for accelerator, it just trail throttled. I just understeered straight into the wall. I was so annoyed. But, you know, one of them things. Bad preparation. I should have looked at the car.
You got to find a way of carrying more corner speed somehow. And if it requires the throttle to be stuck open, that's what's necessary.
Yeah, you need that weight transfer to the front wheels.
You need something, don't you? Like, you know, but yeah, we all come up with excuses. You know.
Right, well, thank you very much, Mr. Cheese, for showing us around and doing us a quick run there. That's brilliant.
Yes.
I look forward to seeing you on Sunday night.
Yes, yeah.
And just one personal question: do you stay awake to the end, or do you fall asleep?
Well, as long as it's not the hot rod racing, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mate, I love the stock.
Yeah, I can tell you do like it, but it's just like we like the hill climbing. Yeah. A lot of people watch one car at a time going up a hill, not particularly fast, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing more boring, like you know.
Hey, you can't once you've been to stock cars,
including my ex-wife. That she was the same, like you know. But that's why she's my ex-wife.
Brilliant. Yeah. Let's hope she's not watching.
Oh, she wouldn't watch that. No.
Right, brilliant. Well, thank you very much, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, no trouble at all. Nice to see you. Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Thank you. Okay, YouTubers, second delivery for today. We've arrived at Coord Sport in, is it Birmingham, I am?
Tipton. The Black Country.
The Black Country. Right, this is Peter. Peter, thanks for agreeing to come on Shrigleytube and show us this stunning G15. Can you give us a bit of history about it? Have you had it a long time?
I've had it about 10 years now. And a chap, I think Roy Stanners, used to hill climb it.
Right.
Rebuilt it probably just before the 2000s. And it's got a Carter Clubman 1000cc engine in it.
We've just been admiring that, haven't we? It's a genuine, it's all stamped up Super Clubman. That's how he used to do his engines. But is this the one that was in Jersey?
No, that's a different car.
Different car, yeah. Right, wow. So this is, I've just dropped off, you might recognise this as being the 1200 that we've been building. So Pete's having this fuel injected now by his friends who, I don't know what their business is called, but they're going to put the fuel injection on it. So since you last seen it, all I've done is I've put this little distributor drive in just so you can see which cylinder's firing. Just did that mainly for the lads that are going to be putting all the wiring on it. Obviously, it's got the cam sensor and the crank sensor that we've discussed in the past. And Peter's also bought a 930, one of the brand new ones, just for stock. So, Pete, tell us a little bit about your business. You sell all sorts of parts. I know that you've invested in lots of Quaife differentials for Hillmans, haven't you?
Yep. So, Coord Sport's been going 35 years last month.
Really?
So, we wholesale performance parts, basically, bring them in from Japan, America, Australia, all over the place.
Wow.
And yeah, we're generally a distributor, B2B, just selling to garages and workshops and race teams.
So you can go on your website and it's all, you can drop down lists, everything's on there.
Yeah, quadsport.com.
So for the classic car scene, I believe you're doing some air filters now, aren't you?
Well, we're the distributor for Pipercross now, so got classic range in that, and we're starting to get more into classics because people are asking. So,
brilliant.
Originally, we were Japanese specialists.
Yeah, I did notice the HKS. That's the Go Faster gang, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow, brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great industry.
Yeah, it looks very well organised. I have to say, it's a lovely, clean unit. This is the sort of place I'd love to work from.
You'll get there, Andy.
You reckon? Well, I hope so.
It's taken me 35 years.
Yeah, fair play to you. Fair play. No, it's brilliant. Well, any questions with the 1200? I'm always on the end of the phone. Just let me know how you get on, and then anything you queries or anything. But you should be able to literally just put that in. I've tried everything I can to break it, and it seems pretty strong. So yeah, I'm really confident. I'm really happy with it. Actually. Yeah. This is the first, as you know, of the new rod to stroke ratio engines, a long rod engines.
Yeah, and, I'm looking forward to it.
It did everything I wanted to do. So we'll look forward to seeing you. You're going to do a bit of hill climbing, are you?
That's right. That's the plan. Yeah.
Excellent.
See if I can get my daughter involved.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant. Superb. Well, thanks for being on Shrigleytube, and I'll see you Sunday night.
Okay.
With your popcorn.
Take care. Thanks, Andy. Cheers.
Right, YouTubers, something we've not done before on Shrigleytube. This is a wet liner 998 belonging to Peter. And as part of his rebuild, I said, what we'll do is we'll push the liners out and put them back in again with fresh glue, because the glue's like 30, 40 years old. When the liner's out, I'll explain more, but just set it up in the press. This has just been in the oven, so it's hot. And I thought this is an ideal day to do it because I've got my apprentice in the workshop. He's on a half term, been working really hard. He's been doing so well. Honestly, if he was 18, I'd take him on permanently. So that's looking great, that, Russell. Thank you. We'll get that painted before dinner. Right, Russ, could you do me a favour? You see this pump here? Can you pump backwards and forwards? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch the liner as it comes out the other side. So check we've got clearance around there. So go, mate. Start pumping backwards and forwards. Okay, Russell, are you ready? Just nice short pumps backwards and forwards there. Yeah, that's it. So we can see the line is starting to come out. I'm going to catch him as he comes through. These are like interference fit liners, and they put Loctite around them. But the problem is the Loctite gets old. By the time it's 30 years old, the coolant can find its way past sometimes. So as a precaution, save us going backwards once we've built it, what we do is we push every liner out and re-glue them in with fresh glue. It's easy to blast the water jacket as well with the liner out, to be fair. And then when we put it on the dyno, it's got the best chance of survival. Right, thank you. What we'll do, can you help grab the top half, just the top half, that's it. That's it, I've got the liner, you bring that back. Right, thanks, Russ. Right, well, as you can see now, this is the part of the liner, this is why they call it a wet liner, because it sits in the cooling jacket. And this part of the liner, you can just see the remnants of the Loctite. So you can see there it's quite fresh and green still. But you see here, where it's not as protected, it's gone brown. And what tends to happen is it finds its way down to the sump side and end up with the coolant in the oil. Hence why we started pushing the liners out to make sure it's a good job. So we'll get the rest of these liners out now, mate. And then we'll get the block ready for cleaning and blasting.
Dad?
Yes,
why
son?
did we get the engine hot to push the liners out?
Ah, that's a very good question, that, Russell. You've obviously been thinking about it. Let's come over here, mate. Right, you see this? This is the liners, yeah?
Yeah.
And you see this?
Yeah.
This sits inside a housing here.
Cool.
And everything in life has a different rate of expansion, so especially metals. So aluminium has a really high rate of expansion, so and iron has a lower rate of expansion. We're talking thousandths of an inch here, just tiny little bits like a hair.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine that hole, when we heated it up, the aluminium grew and it allowed us to push the liner out.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
It's a bit difficult for a 9-year-old probably, but can you see here, that's the fresh Loctite. That's where the Loctite started to get attacked by the coolant.
Okay.
See it all flicking out?
Yeah.
So then the next thing is the water, always here where the flats are.
Yeah.
It comes down into the bottom of the engine, and then we have to take the engine all apart again. So what we do is we push the liners out on every engine now.
Yeah.
And put fresh glue on them. Does that make sense, mate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to push liners out when you're older?
No.
Why not?
Because I want something where you actually get money from it.
Right, we might have to edit that bit. Okay, YouTubers, if we go back to episode 5 of Shrigleytube, with the very, very start, this is Big Bertha, my Churchill grinder. And my mate Bernie, who's behind me, but he's not a YouTube fan, he very kindly came along and wired him all in for me after we knocked the roof down. We had to raise the roof to get him in because he's quite high. It was a big job. Anyway, the point of this this chat is we fired him up, and unfortunately something went wrong with the wiring that made it keep tripping out, and we thought the motor had gone. But Bernie, my mate, very experienced electrician, said, I reckon the motor hasn't failed, and it's just the wires have gone, the insulation has gone brittle, and that's where the main wire feed for the motor goes in. It's a big motor, as you can see. It's like whatever that is, 20 HR. Anyway, we thought it was 20 horsepower, but that's ridiculous. Anyway, so I got halfway through grinding my first crossflow block, and it failed. So it took it took over a year, because it's episode 5 and it's now episode 68. So over a year for us to get back to it, because I've been so busy with the job. So what we're doing today is we're taking the top of the motor off, and then Bernie's going to work his magic inside and rewire it all. But I thought I had to make a video because I thought the engineering in this is stunning, right? Basically, these chains hold the weight of the motor, and then you adjust the height of the motor to adjust the cut. So we've got this very fine instrumentation down here for putting the cut on. But what we've had to do is that bar inside the back of there is a giant weight on the chains. But we couldn't, when we supported the weight of the weight at the back, which you can see through that hole, it didn't actually release the chains because it's double acting. So it doesn't only just pull it up, it pulls it down at the same time. So we've had to support it with a trolley jack, a little jack underneath here. Quite clever, and it's hard to explain, but I'll show you a bit more hopefully later. But basically it has chains pulling it up and pulling it down, so it's always taut and reacts instantly. It's not just relying on the gravity to keep the cut on, it's actually pulled down and pulled up. So brilliant bit of kit. So we'll get the top of the motor off next. Now this is the saddle that attaches it through 2 pivot bolts. We've undone them now. We'll get that out of the way, we'll get this big part off, and we'll see what we see. So it burns. This looks very, very preloaded. Look at that. Look at the engineering in that. Never going to make one like that again, are they? Proper job. And Bernie's just spotted one of the wires. Is it broken, Bernie?
It's broken.
It's broken. That one there, look at that. So that could have been the reason why we had so many problems when we were trying to fire it up. Okay, bit of an update. We're making progress here. At the top of here, this has got a keyway in it, this little keyway, and I presume that's to stop the nut from coming undone. And then it has, look at the engineering here, the taper bearing has a preload, so these springs, that slides onto the top of the shaft here, and this fine thread, it has these 2 lovely lock nuts wound up against it. This was set at maybe an 1/8 of an inch gap, so it's nearly coil bound, and that provides a preload for the 2 taper bearings so that the motor stays in the right place. Look at how beautiful that is. We will never ever make anything like this ever again. No, in fact, I think I'd go as far to say no one will ever make anything like this ever again. Such a shame. I can't believe it's not worth £1 million. It's just worth scrap, which is just a sign of the world we live in, I suppose. But anyway, we are in the business end now. Got the top of the motor off. Look at that for a bit of engineering. Even has a cooling blade as well. Look at that. Now Bernie spotted straight away that one of the wires has broken completely, and these all feel very brittle and weak. Because what happens is, as the motor goes up and down, the wires obviously bend every time. So this, I reckon this is like 1950s or something, or 60s. So it's done its fair share of graft. Anyway, Bernie's marked the wires up, and he's going to use his very clever brain now to rewire it all. Isn't that right, Burns?
I'll try.
Oh, look who's walked in.
What are you doing today?
Today, we are playing... Hey, up here's Double Trouble. Hello. Oh, is that for my mate?
Yeah.
There you go, Burns.
It's parked on Station Road. Cheers, fella.
Yeah, today we're fixing electric motors on Big Bertha. It's going to run this. Bernie reckons it's okay, he can fix it. Is that good news or what?
If anyone can fix it, Bernie can fix it.
If anybody can fix it.
Bernie can fix anything. Anything Bernie can't fix is YouTube because he's allergic to it. I reckon he's like, I reckon he's wanted by the police. Right, let's leave Bernie to it. I'll go and put this engine on dyno. Right, this is the casting off the top of the Churchill. So this is where the bearing sits, and that's the oil seal. It's still quite subtle, the oil seal. I was going to change that seal, but when I took it apart, as you'll see in the video before, it was still full of oil and it hadn't moved for months. So there was actually nothing wrong with the seal. So I thought, rather than disturb it and change it for something made in China, I'll just leave the original one in there because it's coping fine. So this is a wiring hole where the wiring comes in. And what my mate Bernie's done is he's made a box now for the wires to come into, and then they'll all be secure to there. You have a little junction controller, and then the wires will go out to the star, what's it called, Delta Star box, or Star Delta I think it's called. But what I wanted to show you was, look at this bearing. It's got to be 50 years old, maybe 60 years old. It's absolutely, it's beautiful. So that's good to see that the machine's in good condition, because I wouldn't have said it'd been looked after by any stretch. So I'll tap that back in there now, and then we'll take this back into into Bernie, and he can build it all back up again. And these were fully clogged up with muck. I was like, what are they? I don't understand it. You know what they are? They're ports. Remember that fan we saw before on top of the motor? Them ports draw air in, and then they blow it out the bottom. So it's like a free flow system. I think really we should be putting some gauzes or filters or something on there, because, you know, a lot of grinding dust in the air. I don't want it getting dragged through the motor. Anyway, we'll concentrate on getting it working first. Hopefully we'll get it to run today. Bernie has worked really hard, and he's put this new box on with some new wires that are going to join to there, these cables. And what he's done is he's put a junction box on top of here. We've got the motor all back together now. So we've got a nice little junction box with the wires going out. So hopefully all the movement will just take place outside the box now, where it goes into the motor. So Bernie, thank you very much for your efforts. I will look forward to seeing you Monday, hopefully. And we'll get a tune out of it, hopefully. A whizzy tune. Thank you very much. Okay, a bit of an update on Peter's engine. This is the engine that had the failed piston. It's quite a few episodes ago now. We had Peter in the workshop. That's his block that we pulled the liners out of yesterday with Russell. And I've just got it all in the acid because I want to degrease it all, and hopefully we can get it in the blaster tomorrow and get it all nice and clean, so we can get the liners in and let them set over the weekend. Then we can bore it Monday and crack on and get a build on with it. Now, this is the chamber that was damaged. You can just see where the ring had come off the top land, etc., and it just got trapped and made a mess. But all I've done so far is it already had new guides in it, believe it or not. So the guides are perfect. I've used the original guides, and I've cut the seats from Imp Sport size to 1.3, and I've cut the exhaust side to 1.125. So all the seats are nice uniform height now, and we've got a bigger valve in there to go in, which is great. It just gives that a little bit of an edge, especially when they're running bigger capacity. Like this one's obviously going to be a 1012 cc when it's on a 73mm piston. So all I've done so far is to skim the head and remachine the wheel string grooves. So all that's uniform now and correct. I want to clean it all now. We'll blast it, and then we'll get it ready to put together next week sometime, hopefully, maybe before the NEC show. But now that we've got the Smokey 1040 to deal with, we'll have to get that apart tomorrow as well, because I want to make a plan on how I'm going to fix it. It can't hang around. Bernie, what's going on here? This looks like a balance resistor off one of my ignition modules.
It is.
And that looks like an imp light switch.
It is.
You're going to demonstrate for us, pal?
2-speed fan.
Look at that. Second speed. that goes really well. That goes better than the one in my Husky. That's brilliant.
Just standard. It's a
So-
standard motor.
Can you do me a printout of how to do it?
Yeah.
Wow. I might start selling them. Brilliant. That. Does it get up? Can you leave it on low speed as long as you want?
It does get. It needs putting onto metal
Metal. Right. Okay.
to run forever.
Cool. That. Congratulations, YouTubers. That's your alarm bell to wake you up, just in case you fell asleep watching me waffle on about engines. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's show, and I look forward to seeing you all on Friday at the NEC. Bye for now.